All right. Hey, and good afternoon, morning, or evening. And they don't have to come in that order. I know some of you may be watching the broadcast. So, welcome to Glue Wednesday. Glue Wednesday was created, if this is your first time, it's created um, to give a creative twist. Hey, what's up, Tony? You up there first? Wait, did I go on? I ain't gonna talk about it. Yeah, I had tech difficulties, but I never lose to technology. But Glue Wednesday was born from the typical saying cliche of hump day being Wednesday when people were talking about a normal Monday to Friday work week. That's the 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. But I say, hey, you know what? Everybody doesn't work Monday to Friday. But Wednesday is the middle of a traditional 7-day week, which we all experience regardless of when we work. We all have 7 days in a week. And Wednesday is the day that brings the weekend and the week beginning together and even puts us in a prayerful mode right there. And so Wednesday is the glue. And my glue is GLUE. God's love undoes everything. Not that it tears things apart, but whatever's torn apart, it can bring it back together. And so that's what Blue Wednesday is all about. We've got less than 2 minutes to get the message started, but I always make sure I introduce that, even though some of the people on the broadcast are my normal. I don't know what to call you. I didn't want to call you a regular, but consistent. Thank you, my consistent, and also my blessings, because the people who continue to enjoy the broadcast bring a blessing to me. And so when you allow someone to be a blessing, then that means that you are a blessing as well. And see, that's what I call a victorious cycle rather than a vicious cycle. When you bless, you allow people to bless. And when you allow people to bless, you bless. And so it's a wonderful thing that we get to do and something that we just have to be conscious of. And we just need to be reminded of every now and then. Hey, what's up, Roger Carroll? We got less than a minute for the message to start. So, keep being a blessing and keep reminding yourself that that's what you are. It's what you're best at. Sometimes we forget that because we get torn down by so many people. The noise in our ear. Remember a couple of in fact, the last session we had Glue Friday, and the letter of the day was M. And so we also had to talk about the music in our lives. The music is also the noise. What are you hearing in your life? Who are you hearing from? And how is that? Hey, check this out, Tony and Roger Carroll. Ooh, it's 1 o'clock. But anyway, because I'm trying out this new mic. Y'all know I had trouble with it on Monday, so I think I turned up the volume. Did it work? Oh, and by the way, the thumbs up and the love things, they don't show up on this new format that Facebook has. So I need you to answer me in the feed of whether or not the volume is loud enough. And this will be the only time I look at the feed, because now I'm going to get rolling with the message. So give me the thumbs up, ladies, so I can move on. Is the bro? So hey, what's up, Vic? Hey, yep, okay. So, well, I'm going to just have to believe. Oh, well, you know what? Here's the joke. Maybe you don't hear me asking you if the volume is loud enough. So maybe I better type that in there. I'm gonna type that in there. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Tony. Wait, you ever have that when somebody says, "Can you hear? I don't need a microphone. Can you hear me in the back?" Well, if they can't hear you, how are they going to answer? Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, everybody's not a professional speaker. But one thing that I recommend to you, when you have the option, use a microphone. I don't care how loud your voice is. When you have the option, use the microphone. Here's why. When you use the microphone, you give yourself the option to have different tones of voice in your message. If you don't use the microphone, number one, you have to maintain a screaming voice to make sure that the person all the way in the back can hear you, which means you have to shout at your audience. And then when you get to certain things where you want to just sound a little bit more empathetic, make a compassionate ask, you take that out of your voice. And so now it sounds like, give me that money, instead of, would you please donate? Would you please donate? Okay. You really have to think about things like that. There's a lot of preparation that goes into speaking. One of the things that I posted on in a reply to a post on LinkedIn today, in a thread, and that was the comment that I made, that one of the first things I learned in the speaking world is that I don't get paid, and I never would. I won't get paid to speak. I get paid to prepare to speak. See, so when you decide, when you say, oh man, these speakers, they make all this money, you get paid all of that for an hour, however you want to, frame that. We don't get paid to speak for that 30 minutes, for that hour. We get paid to prepare to speak for that 30 minutes or that hour, because when that time is up, we should have delivered the impact that was expected of us. And see, so that's what you're paying. And so even as you hire a speaker, that's what you're hiring the speaker for. Think about it. When you hire a clown to come to a party, you're hiring them so that when they get there, when they leave, that the kids will have enjoyed themselves. P.S. by the way, there's a million options and examples that I could give you there. Okay. But I think you got it. Okay. But today I'm going to continue to put my foot on the gas, as I like to call it. And the gas, if you're just joining us, GAS, is the Glue alphabet series. We're halfway through the alphabet now. Actually, I think the letter L is halfway through the alphabet. But each message, I'm going to use a different feature, a different letter of the alphabet to deliver the message. And as you're watching, if you'd like to get a word in that letter of the alphabet into the next message, you would just write that word in the thread. So the next message is going to be on Friday, and it's going to start with the letter N. So if you've got any words that you would like to get into the message that begin with the letter N, P. Wait, O-P. Okay. So the next letter is P. So any words that you want to get with the letter P into the message on Friday, make sure you just drop that into the thread. Meanwhile, I will also read a feature of the poem of the day, which will be I Can See the Bottom. If you'd like a copy of the poem, you're going to email me at unclesporty@gmail.com, and I will send you a colorful PDF copy with an electronic signature autograph, so that a commemorable one that you can actually frame, put on your wall, or you can just tape and pin it to your wall. But it'll just remind you of Glue Wednesday, and that'll be called I Can See the Bottom. If you go back through any of the Glue transmissions, broadcasts, and you see and you like any of the poems, you can still email me, and then I can send that to you. Why do I ask you to email instead of put it in the thread? That way it makes sure that it gets through any kind of firewall. So once you email me, your system allows me to email you back. See, sometimes people's security will stop someone else's emails from getting through to you, and you don't even realize it. And you think maybe they didn't follow up. That's one of the things we can't do, is continue to just trust the technology. So let's get going. Our message today is brought to you by the letter O and my t-shirt. Okay. Now you might be thinking, well, but that's Real Men Cook. Shouldn't that be the R word? Nope. You see, I'm wearing it representing the O as in orange. See, it's the color orange, and it walks us right into the message that sometimes our options are not so obvious. Sometimes our options are not so obvious. See, we allow ourselves to get caught up in the headlines instead of being lifted up by the subtitles. Let me see if I can do that. Watch, here's the headline and here are the subtitles. Okay, the headline is COVID-19 kills, but the subtitle is, yet we are looking beyond the opulence of the mountain that we must climb, and have our best and outstanding doctors and scientists working feverishly around the clock, using their original thoughts and gifts to overcome the obstacles and find a solution. See, that's the subtitle. We need to live in that subtitle. We've got the best of who we are. These doctors and scientists, that's their gift. So their gift is to find a solution to this virus, and they're using their gift. They're not saying, it's 5:00. Okay, so let me stop looking. My time is up. No, it's not one of those, hey, it's not my job. This is a challenge that they love. This is what they put all the sweat and tears that they put into getting their MDs and their science, PhDs and all that stuff. This is what they put it in for. And so now to get the chance to be the one to come up with the cure, or at least the stalemate for the virus, that's what they live for. So what do they have to do? Well, the obvious option for them is that they have to surround themselves with positive people. You have, see, sometimes we don't think about that, but you imagine the person who, the scientist or the doctor, every time they try something, it's not going to work. So imagine if they've got the people around them who are saying, oh man, you screwed that up. That didn't come through. Man, I don't know if you're going to be able to do this, man. This thing is killing everybody. They need people who are saying, okay, you know what? What did you do? Did you add this? Maybe if you take a milligram away from that. See, they need people that are constantly being positive about, hey, we can do this. We can do this. And you're the one that can do it. So that's, let's focus and live in the subtitles. Let's not get caught up by the titles. So here are two of the obvious options that we have in my book, Ac-Firmations, and my options, Options. Offer possibilities that inspire others to nurture success. Offer possibilities that inspire others to nurture success. And the other one, Options. Offer possibilities that impact others, necessary steps. Offer possibilities that impact others, necessary steps. I'll have to put that in the feed when we hang up. But you see, but it's saying two things. That's what we have to be doing, is offering people possibilities. See, instead of focusing on the problem, we have to focus on the solution. So offer people possibilities. You say, and it's in our vocabulary. I'm not stuck in the house with my kids. I'm safe in the house with my kids. I'm not bored in the house. I'm on board with the first line of defense that we have, and that is the social distancing and staying out of the public so that we can at least give the virus less hosts to find and carry it to somebody else. You see that? See, so, that's what we have to do, is offer the possibilities. And each one of us has that power to offer a possibility. This is the possibility that I'm offering you. Because see that, so that's the charge to me. The offer, let me see how I said it again. Offer possibilities that inspire others to nurture success. That's what I hope I'm doing. All right, God bless you. Let's keep it going. All right. But see, we're in this storm. Check it out. We're in this storm longer than we like to be. But how long is that? Our prayer has always focused on getting out of the storm, not hoping for, let me see if I can have a good 2-week storm. So you can't, even though we may say, well, this is going on longer than I wanted it to go on, you didn't want this to go on at all. Our prayers have always focused on, and I'm clicking out some of these virus things that are popping up on my screen while I'm talking to you. Our prayers have always focused on getting out of the storm, not hoping for a good 2-week version. And we've only always been able to do that what is called to ride out the storm. Haven't you heard that cliche? I want to ride out the storm. We ride it out with prayer, with patience, and we get the testimony. And see, that's my TPPT formula. TPPT: tragedy, prayer, patience, testimony. And it's a formula that I found in the Bible, because see, I find that there are no good stories in the Bible. They are only, did I miss that? There are no, okay, good, okay. There are no good stories in the Bible. There are only good endings, right? Noah, okay, think of it. Trouble, prayer, patience, testimony. Noah, flood, and ark. So the flood is the problem. The ark is a part of the prayer. 40 days and 40 nights, the patience, land. Joseph, slavery and the famine. Jacob, Joseph's father, praying that he get to see his son again. And then his prayers were answered. He was reunited with his son. 7 years of famine. Joseph took care of them. And then what did he say at the end? For what you meant for evil, God meant for glory. All right? For good. Moses, slavery. Slavery, tragedy. Red Sea, the prayer. Okay? And then 40 years wandering, patience. And then testimony, promised land. And finally, Esther. Vashti. Now we don't Vashti or Vashti. Vashti was actually the queen who was married to the king, and it was because of her insolence, of choosing not to dance for the king, her defiance. That's what made him, his advisors told him, well, you need to get rid of her and get a new queen. That's how Esther even got on board. So the tragedy was, the king listening, number one, to these knuckleheads who are just going to tell him, well, because your wife won't dance for us, you need to get rid of her. That was really what they said, and that's how it was. It's back in the day, and so therefore, that's how Esther got on board to becoming the queen. And then, meanwhile, 3 days. So here's the patience, the prayer, 3 days in Esther 4:15 through 17, she tells Mordecai. Then Esther sent this reply to Mordecai: go and gather together all the Jews of Susa and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. My maids and I will do the same. And then, though it is against the law, I will go in to see the king. If I must die, I am willing to die. So Mordecai went away and did as Esther told him. All right. So there was the 3 days of prayer. And then what was the testimony? Where Mordecai said to Esther, perhaps you were put in a place for such a time as this. And that's where we are right now. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. And then there was one more. There was one more piece of patience that I wanted to bring up. And that is Haman. Have you thought of Haman, who was the guy who wanted to kill all the Jews? See, not only did Esther tell Mordecai to go pray for 3 days, and that she would think about what was she going to do. Then after they prayed for 3 days, she made the action. She went in to see the king. And now, instead of just going in and seeing the king and saying, you know what, this dude is trying to kill everybody. I think I'm the queen. I'm your new queen. You like me, kill him. No, she was patient with him too. Here's what she said in Esther 5:4 and then 6 through 7. And 4, she said, and Esther replied, if it please your majesty, let the king and Haman come today to a banquet I have prepared for the king. Then in 6 and 7, it says, and while they were drinking wine, the king said to Esther, now tell me what you really want. What is your request? I will give it to you, even if it's half my kingdom. Esther said, no, hold on. She said, this is my request and deepest wish. If your majesty is pleased with me and wants to grant my request, please come with Haman again tomorrow to the banquet I will prepare for you. Then tomorrow I will explain what this is all about. See, she still had patience. She said, I don't need to go up in there and start throwing things and say, hey, you know what, you need to get rid of him. And he's trying to kill my people and therefore your wife. No, she said, no. What did it say? The battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. So she had patience. She set Haman up, because if you read the book, you'll see what Haman then did. He got puffed up. He said, man, the queen is inviting just me and the king. Man, I got it going on. Let me go move my plan up to get rid of the Jews. And most importantly, I need to get rid of Mordecai. Because Mordecai, which was Esther's uncle, is the one that's pissing Haman off the most, because he doesn't bow to Haman when Haman walks through the streets. That's what this is all about. Some stupidness, right? Some stupid headline where instead of looking into the subtitle, some stupid headline that I'm Haman, you should bow to me, instead of recognizing that, there's different faith. Okay. So, it's all about that nonsense. And again, it goes back to what the advisors told the king to do in terms of getting rid of Vashti. But anyway, so Haman speeds up his plans. He gets some advice from his knuckleheads, because they said, you know what? He's all happy about going to dinner with the king and the queen. He said, but man, I can't even enjoy my meal because that Jew Mordecai is still sitting in front of the gate, not bowing to me. So see, your enemy is going to get distracted as well. That's why the battle is not yours. And if you jump out and you're over aggressive, you give off your plan, and the enemy can get you. But if you see what Esther did, was she did a bob and weave. She did it, like they call it the okey doke. She said, oh no, you know what? I enjoy serving y'all dinner. Come back tomorrow. I'll give y'all some more to eat. He said, you know what? I can't even enjoy my meal because of this knucklehead. Let me speed up my plans, which was not in my plan. Let me speed up my plans and get rid of him. So he builds the 70-foot gallows so he can hang Mordecai ASAP and get him out of the way. But see, that wasn't a part of his original plan. That's the same thing we're going through. That's the patience part. Your original plan has to unfold to get to the testimony. So you have to be patient once you start putting your plan together. Be careful of how you speed it up based on what somebody else is telling you. And so that's how it gets to the testimony, because then when they come back the next day, then Esther tells the king what Haman has done, as well as tells him that he has built these 70-foot gallows to hang Mordecai. And then the king says, you know what? I'm glad you built the gallows. And then he tells the God, go hang him on the gallows. See, so your king, when they say the Lord will set your table in front of your enemies, the enemy, what he wanted to use against you gets used against him. Did you see that cartoon that I had posted that I found, where it's the devil and God looking at the world, and the devil says, yeah, I've stopped, I've closed down all your churches with COVID-19. And God says, yeah, you know what? Actually, in fact, I just opened up a new one in another home. See, so your enemy will get his own weapon turned against him. Why? Because you are a child of God. And if your father is in charge, he is going to make the necessary precautions, and he's going to fool your enemy too. He's going to do an okey doke and let them think that he's backed off and that they can step to you when they actually can't, because he is never going to back off. What did it say? All things work to the good of God, not a whole lot of them or an overwhelming abundance or an overwhelming majority. All things work for the good of God. And that's where we are right now. We're experiencing what I call our now normal. The term that's floated around is called the new normal, but maybe I need to go on and trademark it or coin it, but it's the now normal, because when we look at what we're going through it now. And it may be new to us, but this is the thing. This is what my featured poem of today is going to show you, that TPPT formula is in place for us. And it's about how we got here. And what you'll also hear is that there's nothing new. There's nothing new about what's going on now. So this is called I Can See the Bottom. I can see the bottom. My life has been no bed of roses, yet every breath I take smells of success. So my walk through the garden is with confident steps that recognize the grace that supports my successful stride. You see, I can see the bottom, but it can't touch me. So as this celebration settles into my book of life, I throw seeds of thanks to the many of you who have seen to it that I grow along the way. Knowing that your water had helped me flower into the beautiful adult I stretch to be. Know that I can see the bottom, but it can't touch me. There were times where your water showed itself as sweat, with your working extra hard to put food on the table, a roof overhead. Even those as tears of trial, testimonious joy, with your sincere concern for my well-being. Yes, I can see the bottom, but it can't touch me. So as I prepare to strengthen my pride, I refuse to pinch myself or dare to lose this portrait of my people gathered peacefully to celebrate me. And what I graduate to is a clearer understanding of the light I bring into your life with my smile, with my obedience, with my success. See, I can see the bottom, but it can't touch me. Now more than ever, which is a cliche, by the way, they'll say now more than ever. That cliche, now more than ever, proves that we've met storm after storm and built up a track record that we can trust. So now more than ever, we have to keep those middle three letters of TPPT. We need to keep those middle three letters going. And then on the first P, which is prayer, let's add positive prayer. On the second P, which is patience, let's add paced patience, because you have to pace yourself when you have patience. And on the T in testimony, we have to trust the testimony because we have a track record that says we will always come out on top. We will not come out of this unscathed. We will not come out unscathed. Yet we can't afford to forecast the testimony as unreachable. Remember, when the 4 examples I gave you, Noah told his family to get on board. Joseph told his brothers that he loved them. Caleb and Joshua told Moses that they could defeat the giants. And Mordecai told Esther that he believed in her. And then Esther said that she would come through. All of those stories, like most of the books in the Bible, there are no good stories in the Bible. They are good endings. They have a trial or a tragedy, followed by prayer, followed by patience, and by the end of every single one of them books, there's the testimony. And that's what we get to focus on. So let's make sure that we recognize we are in the middle right now. We're in the prayer and patience mode, and we're going to get the testimony, and somebody else is going to get to celebrate that testimony. Maybe not us. Remember, Moses said, I can see the promised land, but I won't get there with you, because that's what God told him. Hello, Martin Luther King. He said, I see the promised land. He said, but I might not get there with you. And so that's what we have to do, is recognize we can see the end of this, but we might not be the one to get it. It's totally eradicated from our lives. We're focusing on living with it right now, but someday it's going to be gone. So remember that Noah, Joseph, Moses, Mordecai, Esther, those are our relatives. We're members of that family tree of survivors and believers who know that deadlines can't touch us. Neither can the bottom. We've been there before, and because we've defeated the bottom, it had family members too. And the family members of the bottom, they look different to us. They look as different to us as we do to them. So we've been through this storm before, but it's never looked like this before, because when we beat this storm's ancestors, they had to send it in a new way. And so we don't recognize, I don't recognize this storm. Well, guess what? The storm doesn't recognize you either. And so you have to see that, we have the advantage because we beat the storm before. So losing to the storm is not an option. All we don't know is how long it's going to take for us to win this game. And that gives us the advantage because, see, we know that we've got what it takes to win this one. Let's have a gas doing it. Okay. In fact, I want to close out my gas glue alphabet series today with a reminder that the now normal requires looking at things differently. Y'all, we got to look at things differently. Step back, pull your perspective together, and look at this situation as the next storm that you'll go through, and then flash back to how you thought you'd never make it. Our opulence is in the omnipotence of our God. If you'd like to get a word in the next message, add it to the thread, and I see that some of you already have. If you'd like a free copy of the featured poem, email your request to unclesporty@gmail.com. And obviously, I'll choose the option to combine our outlooks and have you as my co-messenger of Glue Friday. But this has been Glue Wednesday. It has been an obvious joy of mine to share the obvious options that sometimes are not so obvious. But one thing that is obvious is that our track record says that we always come out on top. So trust your track record, laugh at your lack record, and continue to share and be a blessing to those around you. God bless you. Over and out. GLUE. God's love undoes everything. Oh, by the way, I'll post it also in my page, but I've got a webinar coming up on Monday called Navigating Your New Life in the Now Normal. You need to get in there and register for it. All right. It's a free webinar, and it's the second of a two-part series. And I'm having a ball. We had a ball, and now we're going to have a new one. Over and out. Ciao.